The current state of Company of Heroes 3 is as bad as a dumpster fire in Kuwait. So let me get this out of the way. This is going to be a serious and comedic take of the state of the game of Company of Heroes 3. So if you get offended by my words, honestly, get over it. I mean, we're playing a game about commanding soldiers to murder each other with flamethrowers. So if players or devs get that offended or words hurt you that much, I don't know what to say here, guys. But, find some nuts and hunkered down. I've been a fan of Co ever since I was a kid in 2006, and I got my hands on this virus-ridden demo that I played the living shit out of at the cost of me being grounded by my parents when I had bugged their computer. This franchise deserves some brutally honest criticism, because I've noticed all the Co YouTubers refusing to be honest with this game, either out of fear of retaliation from Relic, or because they got some beer goggles on. Let's get to the point though. Company of Heroes 3 is Axis bias and Nazi Germany copium in a nutshell. Currently, the allies are insanely underpowered so much that it's causing unbalanced and unfair matchmaking. Now, before you Axis mains start spamming the hate comments with your wearable body pillows, telling me to get good at the game, yeah, let me hit you with some facts. I'm currently sitting at the top 100 with allies 1v1, and top 20 3v3, and top 100 4v4. Now, before you Axis mains start saying, you don't even play Wehrmacht, you don't understand our struggle, Mein Kampf, I decided to play the glorious German Axis Wehrmacht und Deck. Grinded for 3 days to see how easy it was to play with Axis with my good buddy Vor, and we went from rank 1500 in 2v2s, 3v3s, and 4v4s to rank 300, 400 with superior German firepower, yeah, in 2v2s, 3v3s, and 4v4s. Alright, now back to reality. That's with bare minimum playtime. I've jumped hundreds of ranks to the top 300 Axis because it's that easy to play Axis. Look, devs, I don't know if you came home to find an American fucking your wife or something, and your marriage is ruined, your hopes and dreams are down the fucking drain, they're scattered to the wind, and you're going through this bad divorce, right? And you went to yourselves, I'll show you American allied players. I'll make you so fucking weak, I'll fuck over your game just like that American fucked my wife. But last time I checked, in an Axis and Allies game, you need allied players. You need allied players to have a game. And with these rapidly declining player numbers, you need to focus on balancing this game fast. I mean, devs, play your fucking game. If you try loading in an Axis match, you're waiting 10 to 20 minutes to find a 2v2. And we're not even talking about 4v4s. I was waiting 30 minutes at one point. With allies, we're in a game in 30 seconds to 2 minutes. That should tell you something, that everyone's going to Axis. But can you blame them? Can you blame new and old players at this point? When you have some of the most overpowered and cheesy units in the game? I mean, look at the selection of cheese tactics that Axis players have. Guastatori spam, we call it Guasta cheese. Pizza tank spam, that you just recently kinda nerfed, but the damage is done because for 40 fuel you can wipe out Shermans easily. GG. Jaeger spams Treks that can not only kill tanks, but wipe infantry just as effective. Wehrmacht P-Grin spam that can wipe full health retreating units on retreat. Foshan Pioneer spam that can insta-cap victory points, and victory point bleeds you at 0 CP call-ins. And the 4-man units are more effective than allied 6-man rifle units. Foshan Jaeger spam that can wipe units at all ranges. Bersieri spam, if I can't even fucking pronounce that shit, that can sprint across the map, are faster than vehicles trying to cap, and can outperform all allied units while speed capping you. I mean, these guys are fucking humping you on the point while getting the cap off and taking that fuel. I could go on and on at this point. I mean, with all this cheese, it's not Company of Heroes 3, it's Company of fucking Rats. Where's my cheese at, my guy? What kills me though with the most recent patch, you Relic and your infinite fucking wisdom decided to go after Pathfinders and nerf them because they're kinda overperforming, but they only kinda did great in the early game. You could easily counter them with fucking clown car spam from DAC, and Pathfinders suck mid to late game, and you still nerfed them while ignoring all the other mountains of Axis cheese. Think to yourselves, devs, think, why were allied players Pathfinder spamming? I don't know, maybe because they're better than riflemen, who you have to pay an ass ton of fucking fuel to upgrade with bars, to still lose easily to Axis units, who don't even have to pay fuel to upgrade to MG34, just straight munis. I mean, by the time you get bars out as an allied player, the Axis players are ass blasting you with a fucking tank. That was the only cheese that the American players had, but not anymore. Can't let our precious Axis players have a rough time. Then you doubled down and nerfed the 76 Sherman, which nerfed the 75 Sherman into the ground. So now allied armor sucks even harder. Why? The Sherman 75 can't even wipe 0 health retreating units now. You might as well call a 75 Sherman a 57 because it misses so much. Meanwhile, Dak gets a cheaper tank with a weaker gun that still easily pins and kills Shermans. Somebody help you if the Dak player pops the war speed ability that makes the Panzer III the fastest tank in the game that can't even beat engine crit, so it can shit on you at high speed and it burns off like nobody's business. I mean, this isn't just me talking out of my ass and going, oh, you're just an angry co-player. No. Look at what the devs even said about this game in the patch notes. The first balance patch of the game on March 6, 2023 admitted, and I quote, by the devs themselves, we've noted that the US forces are struggling in all modes, particularly in the large team games. These targeted fixes are to address certain units that were underpowered within the roster, reducing tech cost and making the faction more competitive in the mid game where it was faltering. More changes are coming to address some of the outstanding issues with the US forces. You even write outstanding because you know that it's fucking difficult to play allies at this point. It's a struggle. Your hopes and dreams, you're trying to go uphill, you're trying, and then boom, a fucking Panzerjäger squad comes out with a Shrek and say goodbye to your Sherman. For the Brits, the devs admitted, and I quote, while doing better than the US forces, the British forces are also struggling across modes and has more recently been heavily relying on boys anti-tank rifles to keep up. We're toning down the power of these weapons while bringing up to par many units in the roster that were still underperforming for their cost. Battle group units have received some love and will give infantry sections more competition. Which that was a fucking lie. You decided to nerf the AT rifles into the ground and it was so bugged that it couldn't even kill a 250, and then you give it back, right? But the AT rifles are still so nerfed that when a 75 howitzer Stug comes out into the field, they can't do much against it. Even with 3 AT squads working on that Stug, it's not doing enough damage to chase it away. It soaks up the damage, does the manpower bleed, backs out, gets insta-healed, and still bleeds you until it can fucking haul down and shoot you at max range. So for my normal players, you can read the statement and make a normal conclusion that this game needs balance. For you salty Varibu, body pillow loving Axis mains, you're thinking to yourselves, no, the game, the Axis needs, it's not good enough. We need to buff Grenadiers. Shut up. For 45 munitions, you can get MP40s that control everything at all ranges. Also, Germany lost World War II. Your beloved Wehrmacht and DAC are not that great, and they're definitely not superior because right now, if I look over at Berlin, I can still see remnants of a Berlin Wall. So eat it. I mean, look, devs, it feels like you're trying to balance this game for top level players, but hear me out. 99% of your player base are the average working Joes like me that work a fucking job, hit the gym, and just want to relax to some RTS games. And Co was the one for us, man. It was the one leading the way. It was hard charging. You had me going with this latest balance patch. I thought you were gonna fix some serious issues and we were gonna watch Co 3 be saved. And you guys were just so devoted to fixing this game that came out broken and working with the community to right your wrongs. And then to my utter disappointment, the patch comes out and you nerfed allies even more. At this point, with the next patch, I'm thinking you guys are gonna make Axis players auto win every time they load into a match so they can fucking inhale their farts even more. And then for allied mains, the game will self uninstall. I'll get hit with some kind of VAC ban or some shit telling me to kill myself. and when I try to reinstall Code 3, I have to sign some kind of fucking agreement that I will only select Axis. But the final straw for me was when you had the audacity, the fucking cojones, to put in an in-game shop and ask us for money for overpriced skins. Devs, you're abusing your fans harder than a redheaded stepchild in summer. With this alpha demo of a game that is nowhere near finished. Nowhere near finished. What was the delays for? I can't even tell at this point. Were you guys sniffing cocaine and Axis copium in the back office and you said to yourselves, yeah, no, fuck these motherfuckers. This game's ready to launch. I mean, this is bad. This game is bad. And then you had the audacity to turn around and say to your fans, fuck you, give me more money, buy my skins. I mean, who the fuck do you think you are? I'm from the time when games were finished before you try to hit them with the old DLC wham bam sham. And this game is not even close to finish. As developers, right now, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Like, something should be going on in your minds that you fucked up, man. You released a game that's so buggy, it's not even funny. I've had a fucking Sherman turn invisible while attacking somebody, and the Axis didn't even know where I was at. I mean, what the fuck is going on here, guys? But with this day and age of gaming, I have no doubt you feel no shame in the scummy crap you pulled with Code 3, because this is just another drop in the bucket in a long line of scams going on with devs. I mean, that's it, man. I made this video as a joke with a little bit of passion, but I'm honestly disappointed with what's going on. You released a game that was missing so many key features of Code 2. All you had to do was copy and paste the template. You drop a game with no replay features whatsoever. You drop a game that couldn't even get a player colors right. You had to make a patch for player colors, and it's still not even good. Look at Code 2. Go back, download and install Code 2 and see what you guys did wrong, because I don't know how you have a game in development for almost a decade is what I'm looking at. 10 fucking years to get it right, and you fucked up so hard it's not even funny. And it's not just me saying it. Look at your player numbers. They're just gonna keep declining and declining and declining and declining until you have a game that is empty, and either people go back to Code 2 or they don't, and somebody is gonna get fucking fired. It's just pure scum.